We had a debate between Vincenzo Valenzi, myself, director of Department of Integrative Medicine and Biophysics of Uniglobus University in Assisi, Italy. Professor Sudhir Bagga, professor of integrative medicine to University in California in Los Angeles. Now you will speak a little to introduce yourself, your history in brief. How do you arrive to the need to have an integration, a large integration in the many tradition and medical practice? More, we have Salvatore Oliverio, vice-presidente of Unione Osteopati Italiani. He has a large experience, international experience, in particular in the East Europe, where we have the strong development in biophysics, in diagnostics, non-linear diagnostics, with the malformato Oberon that was attacked by Scriccio La Notizia as a pseudoscience, and truffaldini, insomma, qualcosa di così. And many other technology that use physics and biophysics applied to wellness and rehabilitation, because his main work is you will speak osteopatia regenerativa and wellness. And we started with the Professor Sudhir Bagga. How do you arrive to integrative medicine in your vision, global vision, allopathic, Chinese, antique, Indian, Japanese, Burma, etc.?
The integrative medicine is a branch which is upcoming in US. They have boards there, which actually helps to combine the best of the allopathic, the Western medicine, with the Eastern systems of medicine, vis-a-vis the Japanese, Chinese, Oriental, Indian, Ayurveda, and yoga put together. The vision I have is integrative medicine, a practical application to create something for patients, doctors, who can then utilize this for the best medical systems on the planet Earth, using combination and the best of all the systems rather than separately. I believe the symbiosis, or the working together, is the most important aspect. And rather than having a reactive medicine, it should be proactive, it should be preventative, it should be personalized, and it needs to be integrative, so that the best systems, whether they are allopathic medicines or Chinese acupuncture or Ayurvedic marma therapy, which is like acupuncture in China, as well as Ayurvedic herbal and yoga, combined together will give the best equilibrium for the patients and for general public to have the best of the physical, spiritual, and mental health. And that is very, very important, that we preserve, prevent, and promote wellness. And for doing that, integrative medicine is most probably the most practical approach to do this.
But how do you think we can develop science applied science, research, clinical trials to demonstrate on the basic evidence medicine this approach. How is it developed in the world? As example, what happens in Graz in the last days?
Well,
27 now of September.
yes.
What happens in Graz?
Yes, at Graz, University of Graz, Dr. Nanda Goswami, and we have created a network in which we'll do validation of evidence-based integrative medicine. Example of that is the Ayurvedic systems or the Chinese systems or the older systems are constitution or phenotype based. And we in allopathic systems of medicine, we are disease based. We treat diseases, and our older systems try to find out the phenotype or constitution of the patient, then treat whatever their constitution is according to the disease. To validate that, older systems use pulse diagnosis. In Ayurvedic medicine, it is called Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Chinese medicine, it's called Oriental medicine, Kun, Guan, Qi. Tibetan medicine is Rileng, Repsha, and Bacon. They all mean the same three important features of validating and evaluating the physical and mental health. In older systems of medicine, thousands of years ago, because they don't have any technology, this is the most superficial blood vessel, and from there they could feel the inside body energy, body functions. And so suppose there was somebody with diabetes who would come, they would feel the pulse and the pulse would feel differently. Then there would be other diabetics who would come, even though they would not tell them that this is diabetes, they would feel the pulse and say, do you have blood sugar kind of a problem? Because they have correlated the disease with the pulse. Now the same methodology can be utilized using new technologies, using a smartphone, by putting the finger onto the camera, photoplethysmography, we can get the same information because this is the larger blood vessel and these can be same digital arteries, will give the same information. Through the light we can find out the pulse waveform and their heart rate variability. The combination of the pulse waveform and heart rate variability will give us the same information which the pulse diagnosis used to give, and we will then be able to validate evidence-based, scientifically, and also, most importantly, value-based. So it would be the least expensive, most effective, with the least side effect management of diseases and health. Utilizing this method, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, or Kun, Guan, Qi, can be easily related to the Western allopathic system of medicine. It may not be exactly close relationship, but Kapha would be parasympathetic activities, Pitta would be sympathetic activities, and
repeat.
Kapha is parasympathetic activities, right?
Vago.
Yes, vagal, yes, stimulation. And
my English is perfect.
No.
But he make a lot of mistakes. Mr. Butler.
Yes. So it is important. It is very important that we utilize this methodology and correlate Vata with the central nervous system, which with movements supervises or controls the parasympathetic and sympathetic activities. Once we use the heart rate variability in the frequency domain, we will find out the low frequency, high frequency, very low frequency, and even ultra low frequency, which will then give us the 24-hour biological circadian rhythm. Then we'll be able to assess which body meridian or organ systems might be not working that well or being vitiated or aggravated because of certain. So we can have a different waveform, different heart rate variabilities during that time period when that particular body organ or meridians is not functioning that well. So even before we have the blood test, we can utilize this methodology and start helping the patients in a preventative measure to help them on a wellness state and help to make their body function organ more systematically and prevent the disease to get chronic before it even manifests by blood tests or x-rays, MRIs or CAT scans. So that methodology could change the way we all practice medicine on the planet Earth. I believe by utilizing this integrative approach, we can change the mankind's to wellness with hardly any medications, at least making them well, so that then they would have a prevention or a prolongation of life without the disease. They could live well. That is my vision, that is my hope, that practicing that, we can create such an app. There are lots of apps available which integrates the best of the heart rate variability, pulse waveform, and breathing. With breathing exercises, the right nostril stimulates the sympathetic nervous system and the left nostril stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. If you have a parasympathetic overactivity, then you want to decrease the parasympathetic activity by breathing through the right nostril for 5 minutes, 3 to 4 times a day would balance the parasympathetic and sympathetic activities. And such methodologies could be utilized in managing health. If the person has a disease, then medicines which are specifically helpful for that constitution phenotype would be helpful rather than just the disease-based systems we are using presently.
Now, in practice,
yes.
Thanks very much for your introduction to us to this complex vision,
yes.
Historical and modern
yes.
together. Now, this is indeed our first meeting. We start on the trip from Graz to Prato.
Yes.
And we started today, and so for heart rate variability mode, we'll go to look for a large cooperation between the main group in Moscow, California, Kiev, and other. Rome, because Rome in our interuniversity center, we have a group that go to develop mathematical,
yes.
a biophysical model for it.
Yes.
So
yes.
we go to join this common project in the frame of Interuniversity Center for Sviluppo Sostenibile. It's best avoid my strong English too strong.
Yes.
But now I want to know your impression of the first experience with your gonalgia. You tell me today that you have a problem with your knee after your long trip in Florence. How is Florence in this weekend?
Fantastic. The best place, I think. Florence is the most beautiful city.
You like Venice.
Yes, yes.
And you like Rome. But okay, I can give you Florence is the best place in the world.
I think probably
because we here.
No, I think it's better than
Rome. To Greece with our friend of Florence.
Yes. Prato also very pretty. Yeah, outside of Florence, it is better to live in Prato because then you can get the best of Florence, but more calm, quiet, and less.
He's a very clever man. This